Okay, in part A of this question, we are supposed to find FG1, and we are looking at the number 1 first going into G, then after that into F. So in order for us to be finding this, we can first find G1. G1 is going to be equal to A times of 1 minus 1 over B times of 1 minus A. So G1 is going to be equal to A minus 1 over B minus A. So FG1, since G1 is this, it is going to be the same as F, taking in the output from G when the input to G is 1, and that will be A minus 1 over B minus A. So putting this into the input of F, we are going to be having this as 2 times of A minus 1 over B minus A, then plus 1. This is part A of the question. Part B. Part B, we are going to try to explain why GF does not exist. So we are looking at GF and imagining this composite function when x is supposed to first goes into F, then after that, whatever that comes out from F will be going into G. So if I were to be checking whether the composite exists, whether this composite can even happen, we will be looking at the criteria when the output of F, so the range of F, they must be all received by G. So they must be part of the domain of G. So let's try to do a quick check. We are going to first check what is the range of F. And I guess for some of you, you can already imagine the range of S is from minus infinity to infinity. But if we were to be a little bit more cautious, we can definitely try to draw the graph of y is equal to fx. It is just going to be a straight line. So if I have the x-axis here and the y-axis here, it is a straight line with a positive gradient of 2, and there's a positive y-intercept. So we have something that is like this, where this will be y is equal to fx. And looking at this, we can see what is the range of f. The range of f is going to be from minus infinity to infinity. And as for the domain of G, okay, this is what we are checking for. As for the domain of G, it will be able to receive all numbers that are from minus infinity to A over B, but not equal to A over B, or from A over B all the way until infinity. So this will be containing A over B as an input into G. So, yep, that A over B will not be able to go into G. So we are talking about this not being a subset. Therefore, the composite function GF, this does not exist. Okay, this is for B. Let's continue. Let's take a look at C. In part C, we are going to try to find the function G inverse x, the expression of function G inverse x. So we are going to let y be equal to gx, which means that y is equal to this, ax minus 1 over bx minus a, where x are all real numbers and x cannot be equal to a over b. We're going to try to make x the subject to reverse the properties of x and y. We are going to make x as the output and y as the input. So cross multiplying this, we have a bxy minus ay is equal to ax minus 1. I'm going to bring all the x over to one side and all the y over to the other side. So we have a bxy minus ax is equal to ay minus 1. Factorizing out x, we have a by minus a. This is ay minus 1. So x here is ay minus 1 over by minus a. So therefore, from here, G inverse x, replacing all the y here by x as a symbol for input, it is going to be ax minus 1 over bx minus a. Okay, then for D, the question says hence. After we have done this, hence, we are going to try to find G2x. And what we can see from here is that G inverse x shares exactly the same expression as Gx. So let me write it down. Gx is equal to G inverse x. Okay, they are sharing exactly the same expression. So I can bring this G inverse over to the left-hand side. which will give me ggx. This is going to be just left with an x, and ggx is g2x. This is equal to x. Yep, we have already found the answer. G2x is equal to x. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a look at the last part of this question. The last part of this question, part E, requires us to describe a full sequence of transformation that will transform the graph of y is equal to gx, y is equal to gx, to the curve y is equal to 1 over x. And gx is this. To go from here to here, it is actually not as easy for us to be applying any of the transformations that we have learned in our syllabus. So we need to do a small little tweak to this first. So let's take a look at gx. Gx here is equal to ax minus 1 over bx minus a. We can re-express this by doing a long division, because what we have here is an improper rational expression. So doing a long division for this, re-expressing this into a proper rational expression, we will have this as an a plus a square minus 1 over bx minus a. And the question tells us that b is equal to 1 and a is bigger than 1. So if b is equal to 1 and a is bigger than 1, then we know that gx is going to be a plus a square minus 1 over x minus a. So we're going to go from here to here. Y is equal to 1 over x. So let's start. We have y is equal to this in the beginning, a plus a square minus 1 over x minus a. So we are going to minus a for this entire expression here. So if I were to take this, a plus a square minus 1 over x minus a, this will leave me with an a square minus 1 over x minus a. And we are going to multiply this entire thing by 1 over a square minus 1 to get this closer to this. And at the same time, multiplying by 1 over a square minus 1 will allow us to do the kind of scaling that is within our syllabus. Okay, so we are doing quite a bit of considerations here, not just simply algebraic multiplication or subtraction. Okay, we are carrying out process of transformation algebraically first, and then after that we're going to discuss about it in words. So we are going to multiply this by 1 over a squared minus 1. So we have a squared minus 1, x minus a to be multiplied to this, which will leave me with a 1 over x minus a. And finally, we are going to replace the x that is here. Again, sticking to how transformation is going to be taking place according to what we are taught in our syllabus, we are going to replace this x here by x plus a. So minus a, it will be from here. This is going to give us a 1 over x. So we are seeing clearly how the sequence of transformations are taking place, and we will describe this in words. I'm going to use a bit of symbol here, but please, in your exam, you're expected to write them properly in phrases that probably your school has already shared with you. So please do that, okay? So from here to here, we minus the entire thing by a. So the first transformation will be, since we minus the entire thing by a, it is going to be a translation of a units in the negative y direction. Then after that, taking this, we multiply it entirely by 1 over a squared minus 1. So the second transformation will be scaling by a factor of 1 over a squared minus 1 parallel to the y-axis. Then finally, we are replacing this x by x plus a. So the last transformation will be translation of a units in the negative x direction.